What's going on, gamers? Thanks for tuning back into the channel. I'm coming at you with another course review. This course is slowly becoming one of my favorite courses that I have play tested, and I wanted to deliver a review as quickly as possible. I know it was recently done and it is possibly moving up very quickly through the ranks, but it was just a extremely thought out and creative design, and it's something that I really wanted to cover as soon as possible. So the course that I'm covering here today is called Vintage Ranch. It is done by Jimahima. It is a par 72, difficulty easy, handicap not rated yet because it doesn't have enough. It only has 748 reviews so far. The course plays 7,451 yards, 3 different tees, 4 different pin locations. Green speeds are fast and normal of conditions. So let's jump right into it. I want to cover some of the likes that I really enjoyed about this course. And it's the main thing that came across me was the fine details. The color pattern scheme, along with the bushes, the cactus planting, most importantly, the bunkers. A lot of the times a course design can really go off the rails if you lose consistency in how your bunkers are displayed throughout the course. And I thought this designer did a really good job of just keeping it simple, you know. He found a design on each holes throughout the course that he consistently used throughout his bunkers. The depth of the bunkers, the way that they flowed throughout the bunkers, they made it feel like a realistic bunker with a realistic shape that gave a good view throughout the holes that I ended up playing. The bunkers definitely displayed as something of a huge positive, especially around the greens. He did a great job with the landscaping, but more importantly, with the landscaping, the designer did a really great job of making it difficult on your second shot. A lot of the times you can get into your course design and then get halfway through, kind of like lose that little attention to detail, get a little bit tired of it. It's kind of relentless and just monotonous, and you kind of just forget to do the little things. And this is one thing that I thought was very consistent throughout, is the second shot lies along your feet were very good. And when you have a course set up where it's not going to be the tightest, it's not going to be the most penalizing, you have to find other ways to make this course challenging. And they found this way to do this by having your second shot in the fairways being on an uphill, on a downhill, on a side hill, any sort of way. It really threw in a lot of extra thought when you have to swing of which way the ball is going to come out based off of where the wind is blowing. And I thought that was something of a huge positive to kind of really entice people not to shoot super low, but also to just have to take an extra second and think about what kind of shot they're going to end up playing. Another of the finer detail things, I really enjoyed the tee boxes. You can see throughout this hole, there's such a realistic feel to this course. I honestly feel like this is like a LiDAR level course. You see the tee boxes, they're just perfectly displayed, just have a great image of all of the tee boxes throughout. There are only 3, which is fine. I mean, most people only play 1 anyways, but just throughout this course, like, I honestly felt like I was playing a real course, and I want this to be a real course because it'd be a hell of a course to play. And that was just the fine details that have really just exuded from me playing in 18 holes here, and I can see why this is slowly becoming one of my favorite courses. So let's dive into my top 4 favorite holes. I'm going to start right now on hole 1. If you've seen my previous video, you'll know that I am a big person on setting the tone, and hole 1 really set the tone simply because of the opening tee shot. You have an overview of the entire course pretty much right here from this tee shot. You're elevated about 47 feet up, and as soon as you hit it, you can see your ball travel through the air, and you pretty much just get a display of the entire hole as well as all of the holes. And that's just something that you don't see on many courses. A lot of the times hole 1 is just simply a hole that is just, you know, just the opening hole to other holes, but it's not a great hole. But here, you just get that feel and that vibe that this is going to be a really good course because you can just see how it's displayed with the mountains in the background and everything set up moving forward. Next up, we have hole 10. You know, you just came off of a 9 hole. This is where it's either going to turn for the good or for the worse. And the fine details and the creative design on this hole was something that really got me. He has a beautiful bridge that flows perfectly with his course design, as well as a 2-tier section of this course where you have to hit it to an upper tier and choose whether you're going to push it all the way to the end of the fairway or whether you're going to lay back and have a long shot in. There's a lot of elevation that plays to this hole, so it really can determine on how it goes about based off the wind conditions. This hole is not a crazy side banking hole, but it really caught my eye simply because of the creative design of the two tiers, and most importantly, the two bridges and all the detail that went around the bridges between the bushes, the bunkers, and I just thought it was something that's really enticing and really neat to play. Next up, we have hole 14. It's very difficult to make a par 3 one of your top holes simply because unless it has a special characteristic such as like an island green or something that is a very tight window, it's hard to make one of your par 3s one of your best holes, and that's just because it's par 3. You can't have too much intricate designs because it has to be something that can be made in one shot. But the designer did a great job of making an immaculate design here, and that's simply because he factors in so much elevation with a lot of trouble completely surrounding the holes. I think the green could have been a little bit smaller here to make it even tougher, but in the end, like 60 feet of elevation is a lot to think about. And if you're not second guessing and thinking about all of the elements of elevation and wind and where the ball needs to land, you can get in a lot of trouble on this hole and quickly turn this par 3 from birdieable to double bogeyable. The last of the 4, I chose hole 16. Obviously, if you see my previous video, you know I'm a sucker for drivable par 4s, but this wasn't so much about the drivable par 4 that really got me. I thought this hole was put in the perfect time of the entire 18 round holes. Hole 16 is usually a lot of desperation mode for a lot of people where they need to either continue to make their push or they know that they are in a bad situation and really have to do some crazy things here. And this hole opens up for a lot of that. A normal safe situation, you just lay up with the 3-wood that is still somewhat close to the edge, but it'll put you in a spot where you can just easily make birdie if your pitch game is on good. For those people in a bad situation here though, you have to drive. You're trying to make up all those strokes that you didn't have prior to this, and you're really trying to push the issue here. And that's where this hole really makes you want to do it. You know, you come out, it's got driver in hand, you're ready to go, and you see that little opening to the right and you're like, don't worry, I'm going to hit fast here, I'll make it over. But then the wind may affect it. It's 45 feet down or 49 feet down depending on where you're looking, of short or green side. So that is also something you have to account for as well, and it really doesn't make this shot easy. This is one of the more difficult shots of deciding whether you want to lay up or go for it. And that's something that is just always cherished, of a hole that makes you think. Not every hole has to make you think, but especially ones coming down the stretch. All right, so that's my top 4 holes, and I just wanted to cover some dislikes. A lot of these courses aren't going to have many dislikes. They're more going to be me nitpicking, and that's simply because I think they're just extremely quality courses that everyone should be playing and also reviewing and voting on. And so if I had to say one thing, I'd say that building in the background of most of the holes doesn't really flow with the course. I like the house design and the windmill. I thought maybe if you put more of like a windmill farm back there, it would have fit better into the scheme rather than a kind of like an apartment or big office style building. I just didn't really feel like that fit well with the scheme. And if that wasn't there, I mean, that's just nitpicking small details that has nothing really to do with course design. The one thing I will say about course design is I really would like the green speeds to be a little bit faster. I think this course had a lot of ability to make this a very challenging and competitive course, but I felt the green speeds were a little bit slower than what they need to be at a competitive rank. So it was easily able to not put people in an uncomfortable putting situation, or maybe the greens aren't as hard as they possibly could have been being out in the desert. But you know, the desert is mostly bunkers, so I definitely understand the designer's course design here. I also don't know what the course designer, if he was just going for an extremely detailed design with something that is just playable and fun, or if he was going on something that wants to be played at the highest competitive level. Either way, this course is spectacular. This is one of those designs that I just immediately caught my eye, and I had such a great time playing it. I really have no complaints. That's just me nitpicking on the dislikes. And I definitely encourage you all to go out and play this course as soon as possible. So that's going to wrap up this course. Thank you for watching. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button below so you're getting all these course reviews as well as tips and tricks to kind of help you be better at this game. I'm also going to be coming out with some other videos and some other games as well coming out soon. All right, thank you so much for watching. You have a good day.